I'm sure you were confident in the game plan, everything coming in, but did you expect it to go this well?
You know, you never know. I said earlier that we got a bunch of young guys out there, and you know, I like the way we prepared. I like the combinations that we had and their demeanor. But until you're in that environment, particularly here, there's a reason why they've won 18 in a row here against some really, really fine teams, and particularly openers. And you know, traveling in the middle of the week, there's a lot of things that, you know, sometimes when you have young guys who haven't been through that, it can be a little bit of an advantage. So we played enough of those guys that our coaches had great plans, and the execution level was good. You know, it's hard to ever say that, you know, you think it's going to go like that, but I think there was a confidence about this team you could see coming into this year, and quite frankly, there's a little chip on the shoulder. I think, you know, basically nobody gave us a chance to even be close in this game. All I heard all last week was 2 touchdowns. If we could keep it close, it'd be great. You know, I think what we did tonight was kind of show that, you know, we're not a one-trick pony, and that, you know, we're not anywhere near where we want to be, but we're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Kevin, 2 years ago, you said many times you didn't know what you had with Jonathan in that first game against Florida. Do you know what you have with Kenny Hill now?
Well, I think we're making the right decision. I'll put it that way. And there's probably a little bit more to what we do, our coaching staff does. And I think there's probably some coaches, including myself, that took some comments personal on the off season about how we prepare our team, what our program's all about. And I think our team took that personal, and they played that way tonight.
How pleased were you with the run defense?
Very pleased. You know, we gave up 2 big plays in the first half. We had a safety jumper route and get the first touchdown open. Didn't get any help for DeShazer, and then a bust. You know, those 2 big plays really kind of changed the complexion of the first half, and it was a different ball game because of 2 plays. And so what we have to do, there's enough things in this game that need to be corrected. We had some penalties. Some, you know, could have gone either way, but we were penalized far too many times. Far too many times. So we got to clean that up. But to go on the road in the first game, you know, they say, you know, the team makes its best improvement between first and second game. So, you know, there's plenty of things for us to get better at and for us to hone in as coaches. But, you know, all that being said, I think it's a credit to our staff and our players and the preparation that they put in, how we approached the off season. That didn't just happen just during football practice, but you guys heard me talk about meetings in the summer, the ability to get our freshmen in there, made a big difference at quarterback, and obviously Kenny was ready to go tonight.
What about the way you guys spread the ball around? Got so many guys involved.
Well, that's part of recruiting. That's one of our recruiting tools. You know, there's only one football, but we like to get it to a bunch of different guys, and we don't wear one player out. And you know, we really. Our coaches, I'll say this, the adjustments that were made during the game were bigger than people think. You know, we had a huge package early, you could tell with Cam Clear, because he was involved in the run game, and we're throwing him the football. He was making a difference at 280 out there, and then he got an ankle, and so, boom, all of a sudden we're out of that. Bring Ricky in and really kind of used him a little bit in Cam's spot, which put pressure, I think, on their defense because Ricky started catching balls down the field and was also blocking in the box. So Ricky Seals-Jones grew up tonight, and not only from a pass-catching standpoint, but a run-blocking standpoint, and became a weapon in the box and on the perimeter. And so as these young guys continue to grow and we grow as an offense, I think that's important. You know, your question earlier about Kenny, I think he wouldn't have been able to operate, and just talk to Coach Spurrier. You know, our offensive line did a really, really good job. Kept him clean for the most part, gave him time to be calm. It's easy to be calm when you're not getting touched a lot, and particularly a young guy. And you know, our offensive line, we didn't run it like a lot of people like, but we ran efficiently. And, you know, our 3 running backs are are veteran guys that are all three are different, but all three have talent and they work well as a group. And you know, when you have those kind of guys and you see the unselfishness of those guys on offense and they're happy for each other, we can keep fresh guys in the game, and we're headed that way on defense. You know, A.J. Hilliard dislocated his ankle. That's going to hurt us at will linebacker, so he's out for a while, and we had a couple guys get nicked up. But that's going to happen in this league. You know, that was a pretty physical game. There were some guys on both sides that got hurt, but I couldn't, you know, if you'd have told me based on coming over here and breaking an 18-game winning streak with freshman quarterback, sophomore quarterback, and winning the game the way we did, can't help but be happy about the results.
Kevin, Kenny came in here and said that when you guys were recruiting him, you sold him on being the guy that follows Johnny. Is that something that a lot of kids wouldn't embrace?
No, both he and Kyle came because of that. So you got to remember, Kyle committed, you know, and Johnny was still here. So, you know, I think, and I've been a lot of different places as an assistant coach, and I go back to being an assistant in Oklahoma, and DeMarco Murray didn't care that Adrian Peterson was there. And really good players understand that. They're going to have their opportunity. They want to play with other good players because, number one, they like to win. And you see what's going on with recruiting right now for us. Our coaches do a great job of recruiting, but our players that are committed do a great job because I think they understand the direction we're headed, and they want to play with other good players. And, you know, when it's only you out there, double coverage or loaded boxes or all that kind of stuff make it difficult for you to be a good player. And you know, I think right now, you know, we're, like as I said, we're not anywhere near where we want to be. But tonight, for our program and for our university, we made a stride. You know, a top 10 opponent on the road in a hostile environment with an 18-game winning streak. You know, for these guys to come in here and play the first game of the year like that, it says a lot about what we can achieve with a bunch of young guys in their career.
Kevin, would you have a sense that freshmen like Speedy and Zaycoven and Miles were ready for this, or do you not know until the last
When we recruited them, we were hoping they were going to be ready based on what we saw on tape. You know, as high school players, no, they're exceptional players. You know, you guys have heard me before. You know, and Chris, you'll get mad, but you know, we don't do a lot about recruiting rankings necessarily. Everybody says that. You know, it's. We got some guys that are, you know, 2-star, 3-star guys, but we got some big-time players, and usually the recruiting guys don't screw up the number 1 slot. That guy's usually pretty good. My mom's here. She knows that the number 1 player in the country at his position can play. So we got a couple of those guys, and you know, it's a growth process. But I think, you know, Speedy was a little frustrated tonight. Things were happening fast for him. He was trying to do too much. You had to get him settled down. I thought he made some good decisions to put a freshman back there, a true freshman back there as a punt returner in this environment on national TV. Tells you the kind of confidence that we have in young guys. We did the same thing with Trey Williams as a freshman on kickoff return. So, you know, you in our place, you know, competition is a coach's best friend. And we don't give anybody anything. Just because those guys are highly recruited, they had to come in here and compete to earn their spot, and they did it. And because of that, you know, our team respects them, and they respect their position.
Did they raise the over competition across?
There's no doubt.
Defense?
There's no doubt. You know, Miles is a guy that's very, very capable and still learning. You know, there's some things that happened out there tonight that it was a learning experience for him. Speedy too. You know, he probably dropped a couple balls that he wouldn't do. He was trying to do things before he had the ball in his hand. So, you know, that comes, but the competition across the board is what you're looking at to increase your level of play. And you know, like I said a couple of years ago, the only way I know how to get better. It's not pro football. I can't call anybody and trade anybody, but you know, is recruiting and player development. And I think what you see right now is that we've spent a lot of money at Texas A&M and bells and whistles, but it's also development. You know, from our Davis Center, which is a great weight room, our wellness area, the nutrition area, all that's for player development, and then in the recruiting. So, you know, it gets back to what you said. You know, you make strides as a program, and you know, you can't help but say we made some strides tonight.
Kevin, I
Coach,
wonder
you've
how.
had a lot of success in the SEC in just 2 years. Opening game, you take down a top 10 team. You said all along today, sitting in here, what you've been through to get this team. What does it say for your path moving forward that you've taken on these kind of opportunities? Is that why you joined the SEC? And are you excited looking forward at what this team can do?
Well, you know, I took the job. I said before, you know, everybody act like, you know, I didn't know that we had already joined the SEC, and so, you know, we understood the challenges, and I understood them coming in here, you know, and that we've got great university, we've got great location, we've got great support, and because of that, we've got a great chance to be successful. Now, the downside is we're in the SEC West, so, you know, there's a bunch of other teams over there with great support, great location, so we get that. But I also think that we have the ability to achieve success at a high level and sustain it. And there's not a lot of places that can do that. And it has to do with everything that I just talked about. So, you know, we said it before. I heard somebody say, you know, we made a bunch of yards against some little teams, but we seem to make a few yards a night.
I wonder what kind of quiet confidence was it with you within your program, especially as you guys got bombarded all offseason about Johnny not being here. What kind of quiet confidence was there?
Well, like I said, you can't help but, you know, you don't hide anything from the players. They all got, I can tell them whatever they want. They all got phones. They read what you guys write. And they know that they were supposed to get beat by a lot tonight. And you know, I think our first meeting we had as a team, ironically, was, you know, 31st. And polls came out. And polls came out at, what, 11 or 12 or something like that. By 1 o'clock, USA Today had an article, a big headline that said, the most overrated team in the country. And I just put that up there day one. That's how we started practice.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thanks.